Three, two, one.
You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter, here. By the time you guys hear this, it'll be Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. If you got the day off, even if you're not black, do something black that day. Watch some Def Comedy Jam. I was going to say watch Tyler Perry, but I was saying that completely sarcastically. Please don't do that. But you can go ahead and actually find the I Have a Dream speech. You know, obviously on YouTube there's clips, but go ahead and listen to that. I actually listen to that every Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so I will be listening to that heading in. I might actually review Selma tomorrow, too. That's actually not a bad idea. I might do that. We'll see. But what we're here to talk about today is Bad Boys for Life, which is the third. It's crazy to me that the original Bad Boys film came out in 95, really made Will Smith into the star that we all know and love. That was really his first starring role as far as in the motion picture. It's crazy to me that back in 95, because of where Martin Lawrence was in his career at the time, he got top billing because, you know, Martin was one of those black shows, one of the most successful shows at the time. Martin Lawrence got top billing. Now, you know, all these years later, it's Will Smith getting top billing, as well as should be, by the way. I mean, multiple time Oscar nominee Will Smith. I mean, yeah, is he the star he was, you know, even back in 2002? No, he's not that guy anymore. But at the same time, his name still carries so much relevance and so much weight. And, you know, I mean, he's a great Instagram follow, to say the least. And you think about it, Aladdin last year that he starred in as a genie, as someone who was talking a lot of shit about that Aladdin movie before it came out. That movie works way better than it has any right to. And also, Aladdin made $1 billion. So, I mean, the highest grossing film of Will Smith's career was in a role a lot of people, myself included, didn't think he should take. And I thought he did a way better job with the genie than he had any right to. So, Will Smith really showed that pun intended, magic is still there. And I gotta say in this, heading into this movie, it was really interesting because you look at how the first film came out in 95. And the next film, Bad Boys 2, came out in 03. So that's a 9-year gap. And you look at Bad Boys 2 coming out in 03 and Bad Boys for Life. And I gotta say, by the way, they should have just called this Bad Boys 3. Because the fourth Bad Boys, which will happen, it's right there. Bad Boys 4 Life. Like, it's right there. Like, how no one went, hey, let's call this Bad Boys 3. I was slightly irritated when I thought about that. I was like, oh, come on, guys. You could have... It's like, all right, dumb. Maybe it'll be Bad Boys Forever. Oh, boom. There you go. Bad Boys number 4 ever. Boom. There's your next title. But Will Smith and Martin Lawrence return, of course, as Detective Mike Lowry and Detective Marcus Burnett, respectively. And I gotta say, Will Smith, how old is Will Smith? He's gotta be late 40s. I mean, oh my god, Will Smith is 51. That is a trip. September 25th, 1968. Oh my gosh. So, if you guys have listened to the podcast here recently, I saw Gemini Man. There's a full review up on that. I didn't hate it like a lot of critics did. I saw a lot of some people who had it on their worst of, which, by the way, if Gemini Man is on your worst of, you saw nothing last year, because there was way worse shit. Terminator Dark Fate, Tolkien, The Kitchen, God, what else? The Fanatic, just to name a couple. Yeah, come on, Gemini Man, really? That's on your worth? Come on. But I thought it was a really good film. Okay, that's too strong. I thought it was a better film than people were saying it was. It was entertaining. I thought the action was really well done. Some of the CG obviously wasn't great, but it did show Will Smith, that action star that we fell in love with, during the first Men in Black and Independence Day, and Hancock, which is a very underrated superhero film, might I add. The fact is, Will Smith still got it, even in Suicide Squad. And I know I definitely have trashed Suicide Squad a time or two on the podcast, but Will Smith's Deathstroke I did not have a problem with. I thought he was actually really damn good in the role. So, yeah, Will Smith I think still has it. Martin Lawrence, on the other hand, okay, so Martin Lawrence, I've got a huge love-hate relationship with Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence, just off of Martin alone, has earned a lot of rope with me. Of course, the first time I remember seeing him was in House Party. I saw him in Do the Right Thing later, but you look at stuff like, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, which I actually really enjoyed. Look at Martin, the show, of course, which is just, to this day, is one of my favorite sitcoms. You look at a movie like Life with him and Eddie Murphy that I actually think is an underrated film. You look at Blue Streak. You look at there we go, unapologetic defender of Black Knight. I think Black Knight is great. It's dumb, absolutely, but I don't know, that movie hits for me. But then we look at the other stuff like Rebound, which was not great. Big Mama's House 2, Wild Hogs, Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. Good God, College Road Trip, the remake of Death at a Funeral, which, oh my God, do not watch that movie. If you've seen the original Death at a Funeral and then you watch this one, even if you haven't seen the original, just don't watch Death at a Funeral. And then, of course, Big Mama's House, like father, like son, which just hurts my heart to even think about. Yeah, Martin Lawrence has been on the downside here for a minute. I actually like that show, Partners, that he had with Kelsey Grammer back in 2014. I actually like that show, but only lasted a season. So, yeah, Martin Lawrence, it's been a rough go for him recently, and it felt like he was acting his ass off in this movie because, who's to say Martin Lawrence will get another shot at a movie at this point? But what's great about this is, how you have that friend who you may not talk to for a little while, and I don't know about you guys, but to be very vulnerable for a moment, you get to that point where you kind of wonder, oh man, they're still my friend. Like, if we start talking again tomorrow, would it be like this really awkward, sort of interaction? And I gotta give this movie a lot of credit. It found a way to just very quickly, right out the gate, remind you, hey, this is still Martin Lawrence. This is still Will Smith. Their chemistry is still intact, despite all the things that have changed in our world since the first Bad Boys came out. It's crazy to me that the chemistry is still there like it is, and how this movie, in a weird way, kind of takes some responsibility for almost the bullshit it's pulled over the last two. So the plot on this one is very simple. Mike Lowry still doing his thing, still being a gun-toting goon, and Detective Marcus, of course. What I liked about this, too, as far as starting off the movie, there's this big kind of like car chase, not even car chase, but this car sequence with Mike just driving fast like he normally does, and you're kind of going, okay, like they're heading off to a crime scene or whatever. No, they're going to witness Marcus's daughter have a kid, and it's crazy to think about that actress, and they got all the same actors and actresses from the prior films to keep kind of reprising their roles, which I appreciate. I cannot find the brother's name who played Reggie, but they brought him back. I went, oh, that's freaking awesome. Okay. It was a really cool way to start the movie and to kind of let you know, hey, these are the same people you know and love, but they've gotten older. And again, Will Smith being 51 is just crazy to me. Martin Lawrence, all due respect to Martin Lawrence, but he's kind of looking more like Bob the Tomato right from VeggieTales at this point. He just looks real puffy. Again, no disrespect, but they did find Martin Lawrence is only 3 years older than Will Smith. He's 54. That's something else. One thing I do love about this movie too is that they found a way to go ahead and write Martin Lawrence off screen in a very logical way. So Mike and Marcus end up having this conversation after Marcus's granddaughter is born, and I really appreciate the levity that they bring to the conversation. They're talking about how, hey, we're not old, we're not young men anymore. Marcus has a line, we've got more time behind us than we got in front of us, and I love that line. Just kind of hammer home to Mike, look, dude, we don't know how much time we're gonna have left, especially being police officers in Miami, which, oh my God, it's gotta be one of the most dangerous fucking jobs in the world, being a cop in Miami of all places. So I appreciate the levity that the conversation they had brought. So basically, Mike ends up almost getting killed or getting gunned down by this mystery assailant, and so the rest of the movie is Mike being going out for revenge. He ends up teaming up with this new group of like a mix of like tech and almost like a tactical force. I want to say they're called I want to say it's Atom. I want to say something like that. But he gets teamed up basically with the younger version of what the Miami PD is wanting. So they had Dorn, who's played by Alexander Ludwig, who's the only white dude outside of Joe Pantoliano, which made me really happy because Dorn might be my favorite character in this movie. He's this like kind of like this bro looking dude, but is the most hospitable, like kind of soft spoken, pleasant, like very well mannered. They just make you fall in love with him already. And my biggest fear, I was like, please don't kill Dorn. I was like, I want to see him in one more. Please don't kill him. And full spoilers, by the way, for this movie. I gotta give the movie credit. These new actors and actresses they bring in, the Saved by the Bell, the new class, basically, they didn't make them annoying. It would have been so easy for this, new school meets old school dynamic to go ahead and just go off the rails. This could have been Terminator Dark Fate very easily. And while I was excited for this movie, I was kind of concerned because, look, it's been 17 years since the last one. Who's to say they don't just, fuck this up completely? I am a defender of the Lethal Weapon films. I think they're a lot of fun. I do not like the second one. I don't know why people do, but whatever. This is a better version of Lethal Weapon 4. While I do enjoy Lethal Weapon 4, bringing in Chris Rock and Jet Li, I don't think that worked nearly as well as they were hoping it was going to. The new blood here, with Vanessa Hudgens, too, playing Kelly, if there is a complaint, I wish it would have fleshed her character out a little bit. Kelly really doesn't have a lot to do. Okay, she's not developed enough as a character. I liked her in this scenes where they do let her shine, primarily in the action realm. I really did like the action scenes with Kelly. It bummed me out because it reminded me of the fact that she was in Sucker Punch, and just made me go, God, if I could have gotten this when she was in Sucker Punch, I would have been so happy. But I thought she was great here. I really liked her in this role. The other guy who I recognize from Riverdale, Charles Melton, he plays I don't want to say it's Rafi, I believe is how you say it. He plays Reggie on Riverdale, and it was funny to see him in this. I was like, oh, he was in The Sun Is Also a Star. That's where the other thing I was recognizing or blanking that I saw him from. But I thought he was really good in this. Him and Mike have this very back and forth dynamic. They show it in the trailer. The whole, looking good there, Grandpa. Making fun of his age. And I love the line that Mike drops where he talks about, Rafi, I'll go with that, goes, he's like, oh, so you're that guy. And he's like, yeah, there's always that guy. And Mike retorts right back, until there's not, which is a very unfortunately accurate statement. Just going, yeah, there's always that snarky asshole until someone, pops him in the mouth. So I appreciate their back and forth. And Mike drops a "your mama" joke that how black people freak out when David Blaine does magic? That's basically what I did in the theater. I was like, yeah, get him, Mike. It made me really happy. And the way their dynamic continues to evolve and where it ends up, I really did appreciate it. Now I gotta talk about the villains here too. So, the main villain is Rita, who's played by Paula Nunez, and oh my god! So I don't know how old she is. 78, so whatever, what, like 40, like 42. She's absolutely gorgeous and terrifying, like genuinely terrifying in a way I went, oh wow, I would not mess with you because you would probably slit my throat. It was really, if there's anything you can say about this franchise, they've really missed a, I thought the French guy in the first Bad Boys, I thought he was really great actually, but they haven't had that villain where you go, they are kind of that staple. Even the Fast and Furious movies, you know, you look at Charlize Theron, you look at her villain character, you look at even Luke Evans, who I thought was actually a really great villain. The Fast and Furious movies have had some pretty damn good fun villains, so it was really cool to see. The fact that they went, oh okay, we need to go ahead and kind of step it up on the villain front. I thought the villains, both of them, were great, and I won't spoil the kind of twist. I know you usually go full spoilers, but this is one I think you guys will actually want to not have spoiled for you. The man who ends up shooting down Mike or trying to kill Mike, there is a very oh, I'm sorry. Paulo Nunez, that's Rita. Rita is actually an old flame of Mike's. Pardon me. Kate del Castillo, she's the one who plays that Isabel, and Isabel is the villain. She's freaking terrifying. So there's a lot. She was in All About Nina. I know. This is like the movie where I kept looking at people going, I know you from somewhere. I could not figure it out. She did this movie All About Nina back in 2018 with Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and she's really good in that. So, okay, this is all good. But the whole dynamic with her son, she ends up being the one trying to go ahead and kill Mike, and the movie gives for the first time in the series, the movie gives itself some stakes, because, you know, while I love these movies, I mean, they may as well have fucking stormtroopers shooting at them, because they're never hit. They're never really in only but so much danger. But the movie this time does a really great job of making you go, oh, things are actually serious. There is a death in here I'm not going to spoil. Again, I know full spoilers typically, but I'm trying so hard to dance around this movie because I do want you guys to experience this for yourselves. And this is the most mythos that this film has ever given in the series. The fact that this was really done by two completely unknown directors, a guy named Adil Arbi, and then also Bilal Fallah. They really haven't directed a lot of film. They directed a couple of episodes of Snowfall, which is really a damn good show if you have not watched it. Mostly a couple shorts here, a TV series here and there. But really, this is their first big thing that they've directed. And for a film that wasn't going to have Michael Bay, I was concerned. Say what you will about Michael Bay. He's a sexist asshole. Oh god, sorry. I was just imagining the concept of Michael Bay directing a Wonder Woman movie, and that just terrifies me in a way that I almost want to see it. But Michael Bay not being behind the camera, it's a little concerning, and I have to give these two guys credit. You know, this is their first shot at bat for a really big budget thing. Budget on this was $90 million. It made $68 million. Its opening weekend here, it'll cross $100 million probably by Tuesday, combined with international. So the film's already doing well, but these guys did an incredible job of directing this. There's just enough hints of Michael Bay influence, but it doesn't feel like they're bound to Michael Bay's rules. They do a really great job of making Miami feel like its own character in the movie. Just even the way they show people in the club and people downtown, and the way that they shoot Miami during the day and at night really did work for me, and it really enhances the film overall. Mike's whole quest for vengeance, because he's going after the guy who shot him, and that ties into, you know, Isabel. I appreciated that just off the simple reason that it gave Mike a reason to be as reckless as he is. And, they kind of pull the whole trust baby thing, in the first Bad Boys, talking about how, Marcus says he's only playing cop to Mike, which is a real dick statement, by the way. But the movie does a real good job of giving Mike a reason to be this vengeful, this angry, this pissed off. I mean, God, if someone tried to kill you, you'd probably be a little upset. But it does a great job giving him a reason to be this laser focus on getting to this person no matter what it takes, versus Marcus, who's kind of like, oh, well, I'm out the game now. I just had my granddaughter. I don't need to go ahead and do this anymore. There's a great scene that they show in the trailer, but in the movie, it's actually probably even better, even more well done, where, you see Mike going ahead, put on his suit, getting back out there, going to find his killer. So he's put on the suit, and then Marcus put on his bathrobe and getting into his recliner and all that. It's a really great contrast of seeing the two of them go ahead and just live the complete opposite life. And then the third act of this movie, because if there's one thing I can say about Bad Boys 2, the movie could have been at least 20 minutes shorter, because there's a point where it's just kind of dragging. You're like, God damn, like, wrap this up. And while I do love the last action set piece, which feels like it goes on forever, I never felt like it here, because you do get some dialogue, you get some context as to why Isabel is so vengeful towards Mike. You get glimpses of how they tie into each other's lives, and it's enough to give the film some weight, especially as it heads into the third act. I thought that as I kind of wrap up here, because I know I'm being vague on this review, but honestly, it's kind of intentional, because this is one of those movies. I saw Doolittle earlier this week. Lord knows I'll spoil Doolittle, because I don't want you guys to ever have to suffer through that. But this movie, though, there was so much here that worked. Really, my only big complaints are that I wanted Kelly to be a little bit more developed. I had a joke about Vanessa Hudgens, but I want her to be better developed as a character. There we go. And I just wanted... I would have liked the Gabrielle Union cameo for her character Sid. They had that show, I think it's called LA's Finest. It's like on Spectrum TV. It's like the most random thing. But it's Gabrielle Union's character from Bad Boys 2 and Jessica Alba. And it would have been cool to get... maybe a call like, hey, you're getting a call from LA or something like that. Something to tie it in. That would have been cool, but what you gonna do? But really, outside of that, I mean, I can't think of a joke that didn't hit for me. There is an action scene. There are two really big action scenes I thought that were super well done. There's this whole chase scene after they go to this club in Miami that I thought was so well done. Will Smith has a hand-to-hand scene with his assailant that I thought was just, absolutely beautiful. And then the whole last action set piece that takes place in this abandoned hotel, it's so well done, and none of it felt like that quick cut action scenes. It all felt very, intentional. It all felt like everything was very meticulously planned out. I give them a lot of credit here. And even the few action scenes that Martin Lawrence is participating in, because again, I mean, he just has not stayed in action movie star shape. Let's just call it what it is. But I really like the way that they shot everything and the way that everything did have weight to it. The first two, they are guilty of anything, and they definitely are guilty of this, of romanticizing violence. And I think with police culture, especially now, the film was very aware of that, and so it took... This is not glamour violence. This is more akin to Daniel Craig's 007, where the violence feels raw, it feels real life, it feels brutal. And I really appreciated that tweak, because yes, there are, nameless faces being shot, but every time someone's shot, the violence does feel like, oh, that's nasty, or oh, okay, even when the bad guys are getting shot. So I really appreciated that tweak to the formula as well. Outside of that, guys, I mean, wrapping up here, for me, as far as a grade, What would I give this? You know, I'm gonna give this an A minus. I think this is a great film. For me, it's the best Bad Boys film they've done. It's the best one in the trilogy. And you know what? I'm gonna give it an A. I'm gonna give it an A just because this is the best out of the trilogy on the third movie. I think that's insane. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a solid A. I think you'll have fun with this. If you haven't enjoyed the Bad Boys films, I don't think this will be the one that you go, oh my god, it's the best now. But at the same time, if you're a weird fan of this stuff, like some people are, because I know some people who've like talked about, oh my god, this is so, like I love this is my favorite, one of my favorite franchises. I'm like, oh wow, okay, like, fair enough. But everyone here came to play, and there is a mid-credit scene. There's not a in-credit scene, but there's a couple mid-credit scenes, including one that sets up Bad Boys 4, I think, in a very interesting way. Again, call it Bad Boys Forever. Come on, guys, you got this. But I thought this was super well done. So, yeah, this is a solid A for me. So, guys, Bad Boys for Life, what did you think? Let us know what you thought in the comments below. You can go ahead and like us on Facebook at The Real Pineapple. You can go ahead and follow us on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, and Spotify at The Real Pineapple. Follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. You can follow Colin on Twitter at TheReelOneal. You can follow Scott on Twitter at Nearmanthefirst. Guys, by the way, oh my gosh, I just thought about it. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs, and now we can confirm the San Francisco 49ers. They are moving on to the Super Bowl, and I'm super happy because the Patriots won't be there. So I don't care who wins. Actually, you know what? I don't like Garoppolo, so go Pat Mahomes. But thank you so much, guys, for listening. We love your support. Let us know what you think in the comments. We will gladly get back to you. We're going to have a review up this weekend for The Gentleman, and I will have a review for Crisis on Infinite Earths. I know it's kind of random that I'm reviewing the CW crossover, but you know what? I saw it, and I've got some thoughts on it. So we will have a review up for you guys this weekend on that. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we will talk to you guys this weekend. Have a good one.